noticed a big shift in ish music after about maybe 2 years of cold winter because you can easily tell the difference. Like you can tell he put time, effort, he wasn't rushing, he was making stuff that he wanted to hear, not people wanted to hear.
I would say like Ish is in a place where he's just like really searching. So with him kind of being on that path is kind of like if he stays true to himself, which I believe he will, if he continues to kind of bring that genuine, authentic energy. In my conversations with him, I know, he wants more, not just like the fame and the fortune or anything like that, but it's about the purpose.
How you guys doing tonight? So my name is Prince Ish. This is my DJ T1. Yeah, we came all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. It's like negative 30 right now, yesterday. And
it was a little cold out there.
It was real cold. It was cold as hell. So I fucked up my foot this month. This is like a terrible month. And for the weeks I was thinking, how am I going to perform? I was like, okay, I can use a crutch. My doctor said use a wheelchair.
But we got here.
We got here. So I said, what'd you say? You said, hey, you got them pain pills, pop one of them and we can head out here and do it. So that's what I did.
As a person looking back or watching someone grow as a person, coming into his man. It's just kind of an exciting time to kind of see, okay, what this is going to look like, and then, you know, the next step after that. Because when you think about everything that he's trying to put together, you know, it's something to get excited about. You know, I know he's inspiring a lot of people right now to kind of pursue what they want to pursue. So, you know, it's like purpose, pursuit of passion. I mean, we threw out quite a few things, but I would say exciting.
Oh man, that's hilarious. So it goes way back when Ish was in school. It's wild, hard to even think about that. But pretty much he went to school for 1 semester. I don't even know if it was a full semester. I think it was enough to get his refund check from school, and then he bought a laptop, and then he never came back.
Gosh, when I went to his first show, it was kind of like the first time I heard him. I heard his music. I mean, I had known Ish for a while, and it might have been almost like, I don't know, maybe like he had been working with me for almost like maybe like a year or so. And I had never asked him about his music. I knew he used to rap, but it was just kind of like, yo, who don't rap? You know, I was like, this dude is really good. So the first time I actually saw him in concert, I was so confused. I was like, yo.
It's also pretty funny. So we had Miss Sand's class, biology, and I'm putting it all out there. And what was that? 11th grade? I think it was 11th grade, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, he was always late to class. He'd show up, just being an ass. Like he'd show up just disrespectful, late, sloppy, you know. And he'd come in, and this one particular day, you know, we were dissecting stuff, and somebody decided to put frog legs in my pocket. And this man's always late, you know, never saying nothing. He decides he's gonna laugh. I'm like, you know what? Ever since then, I hated this man. Had so much hate for him. I don't know what it was. It was like the smug look or him being late. Just, you don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. So pretty much on from then, friend Ahmed was like, let's play basketball. I'm like, all right. So he's like, we're gonna go hoop with Ish. And I'm like, I hate Ish. I hate that man. I'm not going. And Ahmed convinced me, and after a little bit, I'm like, all right, whatever. So we show up. Ish gets in the car, and I'm like, I hate this dude. Like, I'm gonna injure him on the court. It's gonna be great. Nah, but so we start playing, we start talking, and then, you know, everything just kind of gelled. I'm like, all right, he's not that bad, you know. Still didn't really like him, but he's not that bad. And just things progressed after that.
When you hand the box, that's it.
Oh,
You already have
box
it. So we're fighting already. So you can hold it like this. And you just snatch me from it. I'm trying to grab it. No.
More like.
That booty want the duty.
Now you know that wasn't acting. That was he went back to his old day. But it'll flow like shut the hell. Oh no, like what the hell y'all doing? Y'all got my money where it like flows.
Okay, what the hell y'all doing? Cut that shit. Oh, no, don't say that. What the hell y'all doing? Cut that out. Y'all got my money.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be finished, Ish? How's it feel to be done?
This is good. I just want to lay down. I'm sick.
He became more of a, more aware, more conscious of what he was doing and what he needed to do as far as his career and as far as obtaining his goals, building a family and everything in between. And so it's kind of like I saw the separation he started making from society, you know, as a whole. Just being, again, more conscious of what he was doing and how society's viewpoints and goals didn't necessarily align with his, and how he became like a real individual, which is something that's really hard to do. It's something it takes a very strong-willed person, and it takes being really in tune with yourself. You know, you have to be really introspective to really understand what you need to do for yourself as opposed to what you're being told to do. So I'd say the biggest change literally was just probably after he got that laptop.
Whenever he's talking, I'm listening because a lot of times he's dropping some nuggets, like just about life and his perspective on life for such a young dude. You know, he's ahead of his time a little.
And then the second major change was really the people he was around, people he surrounded himself with, and especially in the music industry, and how certain shows and doing certain events with people necessarily wasn't beneficial anymore for him and how his goals aligned. And so separating from that and just trying to make his own path, that was huge.
94, I'm not gonna lie, after I heard 94, that's when I had to be like, all right, let me start looking presentable, because people, news gonna start coming, articles gonna start coming, because that, you ever reach that moment where you find out where somebody's gonna be a star? Because with Wake Up, Wayne's, and all that other stuff, like, that's when you could tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just the surface or average rapper. I don't know if he belongs in Cleveland. I don't know if he belongs anywhere that I could think of, because all his stuff is on a different level.
Before you go, I wanted to say one thing. I was going to say good luck, but you don't need that because you're talented as hell. And all I want to say is safe travels, because whatever you're going to do next, I already know it's going to work out. So, safe travels.
Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate you. And like vice versa, I'm really excited for your project.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Got no patience, skip the basics. I've been racing summer ways for you and me. I've been waiting for fall to leave. Skip the basics, got no patience. I've been racing summer ways.
I was doing that in my head and you just did. I went,
For real? Yeah,
yes.
that's that shit.
Shocked. I was completely shocked by all his new stuff, because once again I thought I understood what he was about to do, and then he go do some completely, I don't know, it's starting to feel like he's challenging himself with the music, and he wants to do something like it feels like Ish doesn't want to do anything normal. He wants to do everything 200%.
I mean, when it comes to like someone expressing themselves honestly, it's just like, for me, I just feel it. It's like there's a different feeling about a person when they're genuine and when they're authentic, and when people are just putting on a show. We live in a world where everybody is playing a role, some sort of role, some kind of role. So, it's like a breath of fresh air when you actually meet somebody that's genuine and authentic. How do I see it? I don't really see it, or I can't really give you an idea. I just feel it.
Never really thought I'd be managing a musician. Never thought I'd be in this position. Never thought we'd be having talks about, developing a company together and really creating a legacy. I was going into sports medicine, so completely different than the entertainment field. And pretty much from the moment I started working with Ish, and he was like, hey, you're my manager, and things started to really take off in the direction of the entertainment industry and just working with different people. I was a true introvert when I started working with Ish, and being a manager and having to talk to various people, you really come out of your skin. You're forced to be an extrovert, even though I had the tendency to want to really be to myself, not talk to people. I wasn't a people person. Now it's kind of like, I can go anywhere and have a conversation with anyone. It's like I'm able to adapt in any situation I'm in, and that's the biggest thing, because growing up, that was never me. I was always the quiet one in the corner, didn't want to really be seen by anyone, and now it's kind of like, I don't really get nervous around individuals anymore. Any situation I'm in, I feel like I can, try to find the best out of it and try to, leave my mark on it.
I definitely feel that nobody understands where Ishmael is trying to go, with his music, with his career, because me personally, I feel like that can change any day. Ish in the studio is extremely entertaining to see. That process of coming up with the vibe, the energy to match the tempo and everything, and then turn it into something pure. That is probably something that I will never see again at that level.
Still fear to dictate the sequel. On me, don't blame all your people. Think that way, it's so cerebral. So lethal, plus it's so illegal. More than living, I'm getting tired of this ritual. Mind your business, now they say you the issue. Talk right, you bitch like I work nights. Fuck y'all, I'm built like this Fortnite. Bring back to my family.
From what I've heard so far, it's just it's like a totally different kind of vibe. Like everything is just kind of laid back, kind of chills, more melodic. The first album I heard, which was '94, I was like, man, this dude sounds like he's angry.
Personally, when I hear the title Somewhere Between Nowhere, I look back at the other titles to his songs and I laugh a little bit inside, because I personally feel like when Ish titles anything, it's always something super deep and super crazy, and I'm like, just give me the song. I know it's gonna be fire, but he likes to play around with them titles and make it like, yo, you don't know what's about to hit, and I'm like, yo, if you don't press play.
And it kind of threw me off because I don't see Ish as an angry person, and so I had to get the backstory on why '94 was what it was. But as far as what I feel about what I've heard so far, it's like, it's that kind of music you can just kind of sit back and chill and just kind of vibe off of. Not like the typical crunk party music. Not that you wouldn't hear some of the songs at a party, but it's just kind of like that kind of vibe, that kind of laid back.
It's like, I feel like it's a place where everyone really is, or everyone is at a point in their life. To me, it's kind of like, you're not necessarily where you want to be, and you may not know where you're going. So it's like, you're doing things and you have things going on, and so it's not, it's not nothing, but it's not where you want to go. And a lot of us don't really know where we are in life. We don't know what we want to do, or we know what we want to do, but how do you obtain it? Or, is this really what you're destined to do? There's a lot of unanswered questions in life, and I think that's that whole somewhere between nowhere. Like, you're somewhere. We all fall somewhere on the spectrum of life, but really, what is the spectrum of life? Who has the answer to that? Does anyone really know? There's a level of being conscious, but at the end of the day, there's so many unanswered questions that, we'll never have the answer to. And I feel like that somewhere between nowhere is that place. We're all somewhere. But where is that?
I was that teenager, so closed off, and I would never imagine performing in front of one person before in my entire life.
Kiss yourself. Ready set the way I said, evil cowbell. Now I'm in the studio releasing bells.
Prince-ish. All right, dog.
How you guys doing?
most of the time he's already like 3 steps ahead. So just let him be. I mean, career-wise, I've personally seen people copy and paste your whole career, and it is extremely flattering to see him at this level, because I would be listening to like something like The Breakfast Club, and then in the rumor report they would be talking about blah blah blah, stop copying me, blah blah blah, and then yet I know somebody who's literally creating and making big moves, and then other people copying and pasting his moves. It's so, I think that's the biggest accomplishment. That lets you know, if you didn't know, you're doing something.
So it's been a gigantic change. And then just consciousness, especially being around Ish, you know, being conscious of who I am as a person. And again, how I fit into society, but how society's norms aren't necessarily for me either. It's been just, it's been a huge journey, you know, and really taking a look at myself, you know, going back to being introspective and really realizing what I truly want out of life, and then what I need to do to obtain it, you know, has been the biggest change in my life. It's interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic, because we don't really even need to use words anymore. You know, there's a lot of things that we do and the way we move that's unspoken. You know, it's very unique. You know, it's not like any other manager-artist relationship that's out there. You know, there's so many aspects that are different. Like, you know, we'll be in a business meeting and we'll just look at each other and we know exactly what each other means. It's been a lot of growing together, and it takes a lot of trust to really, you know, work with one another the way that we do. Man, I'd say it's almost like, you know, business and personal almost are basically blended, you know, because he's like a brother to me, you know, and so it's like trust him no matter what, and we lead each other, you know, even though I'm his manager, and he puts a lot of faith and trust in me and my capabilities and leading him. I mean, I do the same thing for him as an artist, but also as a friend. So it's like we built the personal foundation for our relationship. We built the personal foundation before anything, and then the business came organically.
I personally feel like Ish will rarely be in Cleveland because you need to go where you're appreciated. I don't give a fuck. All these other Cleveland people, do they support? Do they care? Or are they just in your face because they see you blowing up? That's not, and the one thing about Ish is no matter if you dislike him, he's real. Real music, authenticity. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna keep the same energy regardless. I personally seen that shit. And I mean, why would you stay in this place that claims to support people, but all they do is just use you and climb on top of you? Ain't no room for that in Ish's career. And I'm not even talking about just music. So, not gonna lie, ever since '94, I've been kind of preparing myself mentally for him to leave Cleveland. And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna see him like twice a year.
There's no love without hate. I was born to be great. We all share the same pain. But I can walk through the fire and burst through the wire. We're meant to be higher. It fuels my desires. I've walked through the fire and burst through the wire. We're meant to be higher. It fuels my desire. I swear my own way. I bled through all the pain. My dream remained the same. Still love, but I don't know why. Make a mind that hive mind the prequel. Instill fear to dictate the sequel. On me, don't blame all your people. think that way infects your cerebral. So lethal, plus it's all legal. Mourn the living, I'm getting tired of this ritual. Mind your business, now they say you the issue. Talk white, you bitch like I work nights. Fuck y'all, I built like it's Fortnite. Bring back to my fam and build fire. It burns through the wire. We're meant to be higher. It fuels my desire.